I can feel it, EB, out there in the amusement industry right now. General managers of parks, PR directors, they're all nervously waiting for the decision on whether their park, their ride, their trend is hot or not.
Is hot or not. It is the hot or not episode of CoasterRadio.com. It's not just me and you, though, Mike. We have the CoasterRadio.com audience with us here on a live Tuesday night recording of the CoasterRadio.com podcast. You've got the website set up, vote.coasterradio.com, where the live listeners listening right now are going to help us out. And yes, this is the hot or not episode of CoasterRadio.com. We will determine 50 different things.
Yes.
We'll determine if they're hot or not.
Yes, we've got 50 different topics to get through tonight. So we're
and where did these come from?
These came from you and me. These also came from the listeners. And these also just came from trends that are happening in the amusement industry right now.
Okay, excellent. Good. I was wondering if we were doing just on topic, because I know for listener questions, the episode of CoasterRadio.com that has so much interactivity, we do off topic, but we're staying just in the industry for tonight. This is good.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So do you want to do one right now so we can show the audience how it works? Because basically there's a live audience right now who joins us every Tuesday night at 9:30 at live.coasterradio.com. And if you guys are one of those who are there right now, we need you to go to vote.coasterradio.com on your smartphone or on your desktop computer or on your iPad. That's going to open up the voting right now, and we'll show you how this works. So should we jump right in, EB, and show everybody how this is going to happen? So
okay, I'm looking at it too. Oh, there it is. You've already got the first one up.
Yeah, so let's talk about virtual queuing. That's something that became big with COVID, and you can see right now people are starting to vote. You can see all of the voting going back and forth. It's pretty cool. So that's neat, right? You can see like how the voting is happening. And right now, look at that 78%, 80%. Just the votes are jumping up and up and up of people saying that virtual queuing is pretty cool.
Yeah, virtual queuing is hot right now. I think everybody is doing virtual queuing. People want to do virtual queuing if they're not already doing virtual queuing. And I'm talking about the parks. But I think that the fans want virtual queuing at this point right now. Because let me tell you, when I went to the parks this summer, that was the worst part. Was being stuck in the line with all those COVID idiots.
Yeah, you didn't like that, right?
Nope. Yep.
Yeah. So
virtual queuing is hot.
Yeah, there you go. So check it out right now. I mean, there it is on and what's neat about this as we do it and as people vote, you see the numbers changing. So right now we are kind of locked in, I guess, at 75% hot, 25% not.
Great.
So people liking the virtual queues, I guess that might stay after COVID. So that's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this will show you how rapid fire this will go, because we're just going to move through these. We've got 50 topics and an hour-long show we got to move through. So let's talk about Giga Coasters. Giga Coasters, gigantic in the early 2000s, right? People loving as Giga Coasters became more and more of a thing. Are they still hot or are they not?
Oh, wow. Orion would be our most recent Giga Coaster, right? A Giga Coaster is between 300 and 399 feet tall. Mm-hmm. And people were down on it, I feel like. I mean, sure, Giga Coasters are hot, but I don't know, maybe not. What does the audience say? Yeah,
the audience right now, votes are coming in 74% hot, 26% not. You would think on a roller coaster podcast called CoasterRadio.com, it might be higher than that. Everybody loves a roller coaster that goes high, but they're kind of seeing that maybe that trend of a Giga Coaster is cooling off.
Well, height, I mean, I think that we've discovered lately that, height necessarily isn't the most important thing for a roller coaster. We've been getting some really great launched coasters. We've been getting some really, really fun extreme spinning coasters. These new single rail coasters are nowhere close to being Giga Coasters, and they're fantastic. So, I mean, are we trying to bring back the coaster wars? Is that
yeah.
Giga Coasters?
Yeah.
I vote not hot, but it looks like the audience is saying, 69%?
Yeah. This is what I love about the Hot or Not show, and the technology has grown over the years that we've done this. I think this is the best looking version of Hot or Not that we've done in a while, to see these kind of cool graphics moving around. But it's fun to see it move as people go. So let's move on to our third one. This is one I always love to bring up: dark rides. Like, dark rides are a staple of the amusement park, but yet we don't find them building new ones anymore at any of the regional parks. It's very rare to see.
Well, right, because I think the expectation is that every dark ride has to be Rise of the Resistance, right? Every dark ride has to be the Super Mario Kart in Japan. You can't just do a Boo Blasters, I think, anymore. People are disappointed if that's what their park is getting, it seems like. I don't know. So yeah, I'm voting. What do we got here? I'm voting not.
Yeah, see, that's why I thought.
But see, this is what's happening because everybody's going to be like, it's all hot. I love everything.
Yeah, well, and that's what I think the audience has to kind of look at. Like, you have to look at trends in the industry. So not that you are voting, I like dark rides, but are you going to say, well, hey, I like dark rides, but I'm not seeing enough, so it's not hot in the industry at the moment. That's what we're kind of looking for. So I think,
yeah, it's not hot. I mean, it's not like the trend. It's not going to be on the cover of a magazine, that sort of thing. I don't feel like anything that's coming out, except for maybe like a Rise of the Resistance and the Mario. And I mean, people are already poo-pooing the new Spider-Man.
Right.
That's coming to Disney, saying that it's not enough. I mean, what is it?
Yeah.
I would like to see a throwback to the old Bill Tracy dark rides, right? I think if a park could just build some rickety dumb thing that rattles you through a building, that would be enough for me. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and this is going to make some people shake their heads at both of us and stuff. But I mean, I've been on some of the best dark rides in the world. Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure is fantastic, right? So the best technology, the best visuals. But to me, I don't want to say it's on the same level as one of those old Tracy dark rides, but there's something that's lovable about both of them. You know, like even going on that crappy Tracy dark ride at Ocean City, Maryland still makes me as happy as riding Spider-Man because it's two different experiences, but they're both great dark rides and they both kind of transport you someplace else. That's what I like. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think the thing that's fun about a dark ride is that there's almost always going to be at least some semblance of a story built in that kind of makes it fun.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll see. Hopefully we'll be getting more of these. I know they're the motion ones, right? Isn't that what we're doing with Spider-Man? They're doing the motion thing, and there's the Lego Ninjago. Yeah. That's a dark ride that's got the motion integrated into it. So we'll see.
I hope people give this. Yeah, I really hope people give the Spider-Man one at Disneyland a chance. I really do.
I think parks just need to realize that a dark ride doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah,
you can build a cheap dark ride, and it's still fun.
Oh yeah, you can have fun. And I love the dark rides that are hybrids with roller coasters, like Exterminator at Kennywood. It's one of my favorites.
How fun would it be if Primordial, that's coming to Lagoon out in Utah, would actually be a really good dark ride roller coaster hybrid, or like Wonder Mountain, right? In Canada's Wonderland is kind of sort of that would be fun to start seeing more of.
Mystery Mine, even though people poo-poo it, it's still cool. So I like it. I like that so much. So interesting to see. Okay, now let's get into some like actual real roller coasters. What about this B&M Surf Coaster we're hearing about? This is something that I think everyone wants to see. And look at this, the early numbers saying 82% not hot. Or like that's interesting.
This is dumb. You know what? You know what? One of the what used to be the greatest roller coaster company manufacturer in the world, and then they're like, you know what we should do? Remember that X coaster that's really stupid? Yeah. What if we built one of those?
Yeah.
Stop. Why do I want to flip around? I don't want to flip around.
Well, I wonder if B&M
coaster.
I wonder if B&M is sitting in their boardroom and they're tired of people saying like, "Hey, all you build is the same old stuff. Everybody's got a dive coaster. Everybody's got an inverted coaster. The Giga Coasters are, and the speed coasters are forceless." I wonder if they hear all that shit and wonder what's going on.
Well, I'm sure there was also that same guy sitting in the boardroom in the late 80s and was like, guys, Coca-Cola. It's time for new Coke. Yeah, this is going to work, guys.
And that messed up too. Yeah, 67% of the audience.
Doesn't need to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Only 32% of the audience saying it's hot. So
we got our first knot. All right.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So see, now I think people are listening in the industry. They're listening now. They're like, okay, 68% saying it's not hot. So interesting stuff. How about the RMC T-Rex? We're waiting for it. We're waiting patiently for it, EB.
Ooh, well, you know what? I think this one's hot for the enthusiasts. The enthusiasts want this thing. You talk about a Giga Coaster and a single rail coaster, right? Isn't that the idea of the T-Rex? The T-Rex allegedly can even be even higher. Didn't they say the T-Rex theoretically could be a 500-foot tall roller coaster?
Yeah,
I remember them talking about that. Mm-hmm. So I think for the enthusiasts, T-Rex still holds the promise of being the greatest roller coaster in the world. But the parks haven't bitten on it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Like we don't even have a rumor that a T-Rex is going to get built anywhere. And how long has this thing been, have we known about this for like 2 years at least?
Do you think
right?
that's due to COVID? Do you think because of COVID, like people put on the brakes and maybe an RMC T-Rex was coming, but it got pushed and they're just we don't even know about an announcement yet, maybe?
And so Six Flags or Cedar Point or whoever it is waiting to see if the recovery goes well in 2021, see if what their bank accounts look like in 2022, and then maybe we'll announce it for 2023.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what you're thinking?
That's
The
what
RMC T-Rex. This is, of course, the bigger version of the Raptor single rail coaster. And this thing is going to be amazing if it ever happens. So I'm going to vote not. It's not hot.
Yeah. Can you imagine a 500?
Whether it's COVID that killed it, or it just is too expensive, or what?
Can you imagine a 500-foot version of that, though, man? That'd be wild.
It would be
wild. Well, this is
crazy.
The closest we've come to kind of a split in the audience. 56%, 57% now saying not. 43% saying hot, and it's changing as we go, but it's as close to even as we've seen so far.
That's interesting. Yeah,
in this
good.
experiment.
Good.
Yeah, so let's move on here. How about this? Parks requiring a negative COVID test or proof of vaccination to get into the park.
This is hot across everything.
Yeah.
I want the stamp on my forehead, like the mark of the beast. To go to the grocery store, give it to me.
Yeah.
Do it.
How would you feel like if you went to Holiday World and you knew that every single person in the park had gone through screening to say, hey, here's my vaccination, here's my proof of a negative. What if like everybody took a negative COVID test? Like they came through and there was rapid testing. Would you feel safe?
That would be fantastic, right? If you're like get on the tram and you spit in the thing, and then by the time you make it up through the front gate, your phone dings and it's like, hey, you're good. Go for it.
Yeah.
But the test, this is the thing about the tests, though, is that the tests don't necessarily indicate if you are not contagious. So you will still possibly be encountering people contagious in the park who tested negative.
Yes.
It's just that you're much, much, much more likely to not be encountering people who are contagious.
Yeah. Again, the audience
it's not foolproof.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
foolproof.
That's true. The audience is split again, EB. 54% saying not, 46% saying hot. So it's real split,
okay.
you know.
Do we have the same question for vaccines? I need proof of a vaccine.
Yeah, I guess it's both. It's a negative COVID test or proof of vaccine.
Oh, proof.
So,
okay, we do have both of those. Yeah,
both of those are in there.
I'm all for it, man. I want to wear it like a badge around, like a VIP badge, like Wayne and Garth going backstage. Like, here it is.
Yeah.
Let me anywhere I want. I'm going to concerts now.
Yeah, I'm surprised people don't think that's hotter or something that's coming. You know, I really think that might be something that we see at least for the, short-term future. We'll see.
I think it's gonna. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here. How about the roller coaster themed beers, EB, like Rougabrew or ValRavn IPA? What about these? Are people drinking this stuff? This swill?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These were up at Indiana Beach.
Yep.
Indiana Beach was making them up there when they had their grand reopening.
Uh-huh.
I know they have them at Cedar Point. I know they've got them all at a couple of different places. A couple of different parks are doing this now. This is hot. This is good stuff. I like it. I have no problem buying a beer just because it's got a dumb name and a picture of a roller coaster on the front.
Why not, right? Why not?
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I wonder if coaster enthusiasts are collecting these. I remember my grandfather used to collect like every beer that had the Washington Redskins logo on it. I wonder if there are people doing the same and like just storing them away somewhere. Like, the first edition Rougabrew. People do that in the tiki enthusiast area, like, hey, I got the first bottle of this rum, all that stuff. So I wonder if people do it with this too. But look, EB, can you see the numbers? It's exactly split right now. It's changing. Now it's moved up to 52% hot, 53% hot.
This is another one that's split. That's good.
Yeah, so, but it's interesting, right? And this is what's so fascinating. All of these trends in the amusement industry, there are no home runs, right? Everything's kind of split. There's some who are really for it, some who are really against it. This is really cool kind of market research that's happening here. And I know one of the neat things is we hear from people at the parks who say this is one of their favorite episodes because we're essentially doing free market research for them, EB. That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
Paying for all this technology to do all this. So congratulations, parks, for getting that for free. All right, let's move on. How about the parks being open year round, even if that means it's too cold to operate roller coasters?
Oh, this is the probably the most on fire thing that we have that's happening right now in the industry. I think is all of the parks are recognizing that they can open up for whatever ridiculous reason, and people will pay. Whether it's, hey guys, you can spend $22 to drive your car through the park. Yep, we'll do it. All right, guys, you can pay almost a full ticket price to come in, and we've got 2 restaurants open and a fire pit.
Yes,
people are gonna do it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. So yeah, year round is going to be happening everywhere. Not this off season, we already saw it starting. We saw everybody pretty much extending out their seasons, right? Going later, opening earlier for Christmas and then staying open later, or even just announcing that they're going to continue to be open through January, February into March. And then I think next year it's going to be most parks. Any park that can figure out how to do it, they're going to do it.
Yeah. Do you think this continues after COVID though? Because
yes.
I think people are so pumped and wanting something to do that's outdoors. And so, let's go to a theme park. I don't care if my favorite roller coaster isn't open, but how about when everything's open, restaurants and movie theaters, and maybe people are going to be like, I don't want to go, in the 10-degree weather and walk around a theme park if the rides aren't open. No?
I think you're going to see it continue. I think you're going to see it continue mostly with parks that are close enough to an urban center. I don't think, for example, as much as I would love Holiday World to be open during Christmas time, I don't think they're going to do it because nobody's going to drive that far.
Yeah,
I feel like to go to a park that's not, in a city center.
Yep.
But at Kings Island, sure, Cincinnati will drive 45 minutes to go and do an evening at Kings Island. Yeah.
85% of the audience with you, EB, saying it's hot. So there's the most hot we have seen so far at Hot or Not 2021. Let's move on. How about Cedar Fair playing it safe and delaying the opening of all of its parks? Most of these parks are not opening until May, and that's kind of a shock. We usually see these sometimes in March and April even.
You know what? I'm gonna go hot on this one, and I'm gonna say hot because they're announcing it. Yeah, don't leave us guessing. Mm-hmm. I like that they're announcing it now. I like that they're saying this is what they're gonna do, and I think because protocols already exist, that they can stick to it. I do not think we're gonna see another round of what we saw last season, where parks will announce opening dates and then push them back. So this is good. Announce an opening date. Just pick what you feel comfortable with and then stick to it. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Announcing opening dates, I don't care where they are. That's hot.
Yeah. I like it because I can plan. I know what's happening and I'm not disappointed. I like going to the park in March and April. I like going before it gets into May, June, July, but at least I can know like, hey, this is what they're planning to do. And maybe by the time we get to May, man, maybe things are a lot better. More people have gotten that stick in their arm. We're all right. Yep. So, around 61% saying hot. So that's where we are with that one. Yeah, this is fascinating stuff, man. I love this. Okay, how about I love the guys at Made to Thrill. I've actually got many of their posters here in my office, in the Coaster Radio studio, in other areas of my house. They just designed some really cool stuff for Cedar Point. They used to work. They worked with Holiday World on some stuff, and now Cedar Point, one of the largest amusement parks in the world. Really cool stuff. What do you think of their designs, EB? The audience is loving it right now. Over 90% saying it's hot.
Yeah, I mean, Made to Thrill is amazing. So find Made to Thrill, guys. This is a free plug for them. Great work with the design of all of the products they make, the patches, the banners.
Yeah.
Very creative with making like the cute little license plate pins, the T-shirts. This is tough though, because this is the one dude had a really cool idea, is very talented, makes the stuff, does a really good job skirting around those trademarks and copyrights, right? Give him credit for that too. But now he's sold out.
But you know what? That's the thing, right? You can look at it the other way, EB, and this is the way I look at it.
This is a great success. This is brilliant. This is the little guy doing it right, getting noticed and making bank, I'm sure, at this point.
Here's the way I see it, though, is that I have been to all of these parks, and I look for items like the ones that are made to Thrill. And
you talk about this all the time. They're grown-ups.
Well, yes.
They're theme park stuff for grown-ups.
Yes. There is so much crap that is sold at the parks. And I'm looking at you, Cedar Fair. I'm looking at you, Six Flags. At the Busch Gardens Park, there's like garbage T-shirts. There's garbage stuff, like things I do not want to buy, And then I see the stuff it Made to Thrill, and I'm like, yeah, this is like modern arts type stuff. It's like actually classy, something I would hang in my home. And so I think Cedar Point and Holiday World and probably more parks are saying, yeah, these are actually things that would sell. I think people would actually buy this stuff. So Cedar Point was smart. to, reach out to Josh and Made to Thrill and say, come on, let's do it. And 89% agree with us. So that's great.
The stuff is hot. Josh is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
This next one came right from a listener. What about Made to Thrill hypothetically designing a t-shirt for coasterradio.com? And
I think that's an ask away. I think Josh would do that for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Josh actually he's like a Patreon helper. That's great. A subscriber there. I've never wanted to ask him for it though, because he's so busy. He's got his business going. I don't want to show up and be like, hey, can you create us a t-shirt? Hey, can you create us a pin? I don't want to.
Also do it for free.
Yeah, do it for free. Although, you know what? The way I see it though, is that he could just, if he wanted to, he could just do it and sell it in the store and keep the profit. That's the way I see it. Like, I think it would just be an honor to have a Made to Thrill Coaster Radio object. But do you think it should be a t-shirt, EB? Should it be a t-shirt? Should it be a
He does a good job of making designs that work.
Yes,
as a poster, as a t-shirt, as a keychain. I mean, he does a really good job at that sort of stuff. So, and Mike, you've talked about in the past a coasterradio.com logo upgrade. I mean, Josh has an opportunity here, maybe if he's listening, to throw something at us. That could be really cool.
We have had 15 years of kind of the Coaster Radio, like radio tower in front of a roller coaster. Maybe it's time to change it, man. Maybe it is. 15 years is enough. Maybe it's time to change it. So
Made to Thrill is hot.
Yeah, there you go. 92%, one of our greatest hots so far. So there you go, Josh. We'll have to talk with him about that offline. That'll be fun. Okay, how about this promised surprise for the Holiday World Raven Evermore project? Talk to me about this.
I got to vote not, because I forgot all about it.
Me too. That's when this came up. It was a listener add-in for. I was like, I don't know. This is something we can put to the audience because I have not heard anything about it. So.
Yeah, this was at the end. There was the blog post by Lauren or whoever down there at Holiday World saying, talking about what they were doing with retracking Raven, that sort of thing. And then at the end, they said, oh, and we've got one more surprise that we'll tell you about later. And we don't know. That was it. I'm assuming. I don't know. I haven't followed on Twitter or anything. Was there something else?
Yeah, that's all I saw too. Yeah. Okay. So I guess the audience kind of feeling the same way. 63% saying not, because
I'm not seeing it.
They're not seeing it. Yeah. All right. So there's the answer to that. How about these surge pricing models? Like you pay more depending on when you go to the park. If you go to the park on a holiday.
Am I supposed to vote if this is like hot in the industry or if I think it's really cool?
I think you should vote if it's hot in the industry. That's what we're talking about in the industry.
This is hot. This is hot. The parks are figuring it out. This is the problem with computers and apps and the parks getting this access to technology is the evil parks are using it for evil. Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they look at a Memorial Day weekend and they're like, hey, that's when the most people are coming. Let's charge the most. But here's the flip side. Devil's advocate is that, hey, if I can pay less and go on a day where there's going to be less people, I'm down for that.
I think you have found that, like looking at the Disney model, when they announced surge pricing, did they say, and we're going to make not crowded or the other days really cheap?
Yeah.
No, they just made everything more expensive.
EB, I'm not going to the Magic Kingdom on Christmas Day or Easter week for that matter. I did it once, and that was the last time I'll ever do it. I was shoulder to shoulder in that park and couldn't move. And
you would think they would do it opposite, that on Christmas Day it would be cheaper to go.
Yeah, I guess
because
so.
Nobody wants to go.
Well, I mean, but see, that's people like you and me don't want to go.
But everybody does want to go.
They're people who want to go.
It's counterintuitive.
They're the nuts who want to go and just be there, even if they're like 4 hours.
Not only are you paying more, you're also getting a worse experience. It's crazy. Whatever.
4-hour line.
Six Flags should do it based on how many roller coasters are actually open.
Oh, see, that would be interesting.
You'd be going half price, most of the summer.
Yeah. Well, 64% of the audience say not.
How come I can go into Six Flags for $17 today? Oh, we've only got 3 coasters running.
Some people might do it. Actually, $17 for 3 coasters. That's not bad.
Hey, that's right. Exactly.
I might pay that when you break that down.
Better than me going and spending 60 and you've got 3 running.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. There we go. All right. How about this new trend of membership plans instead of season passes?
Hot. This is so hot. And it's hot because the parks are going to be open year round a lot more, doing a lot more of these events. Mm-hmm. The events themselves are going to attract more people. I think with memberships, you'll buy a membership because you know that not only can you go to the park in the summer and ride rides, but you can go at Thanksgiving and you can and you can walk around and you can go in January and you can go look at Christmas lights and you can go in March and you can just go and sit down and watch a show and drink a beer. You know what I mean? this is great, and I love the month to month. I really did like it when I was a Six Flags subscriber.
Yeah,
I like that a lot better than doing season passes.
Yeah, this keeps people like me around a lot more. It really does, because like I would buy every now and then, hey, I'm going to buy a season pass to King's Dominion. And then when it would run out, I'd be like, well, I didn't really go that much, so I'm not going to re-up. But with this membership plan, EB, I'm like,
do it with a different, right? I'm going to do a different park.
Yeah. This membership plan, those got me saying like, hey, well, I probably am going to go back to Busch Gardens, so I don't want to like kill my membership, because I know I'll go a few times, and it's not so bad paying month to month to month to month to month for years, you know? Like, hey, if I don't even know, I think I'm paying like $14 a month for my Busch Gardens.
I was going to say it's less than what you're probably paying for your streaming service.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you're watching, your Disney Plus or whatever, and that's barely a hit. You can do that.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, let's move on here. How about this? I want to talk more about this in the upcoming season of Coaster Radio, the Lost Island theme park. And remember, they are the ones who actually said, hey, we're going to put in the RMC single rail roller coaster at our park, which is just a small little park with a couple water slides, but they're investing in it. I like it.
Oh yeah, this is the Lost Island in Iowa.
Yes.
It's the water park that has like a go-kart track.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
And they're gonna build it. Yeah. Oh man, I totally forgot about this one too. I'm assuming they haven't started it.
I don't think so, but I know that they said it's happening. And the audience, I'm surprised. I thought this would be more of a feel-good story. 51% of the audience saying not hot. So I don't know.
It's not. Well, because nobody can go there yet.
Maybe
right?
so.
And
maybe
we don't know what's happening. So it's kind of fallen out of.
I think this is more a success story for RMC, who said, hey, we're going to build this high thrill roller coaster that even small parks can afford. So that's neat. Yeah. Yeah. So look at that. It's right at 50%. Hot and not. Very interesting. Okay, how about this? Cool. Bob Chapek's Disney Parks leadership in 2020. And I almost didn't put this in. This was a listener question that came in. I almost didn't put this in because, I don't know, like the park, 2020 is a weird year, man. Can you really say how somebody's leadership is at a theme park in a year like this where you can't operate full bore?
Well, sure. I mean, there was a lot of PR. He, laid off a bunch of people. He's been arguing with the governor of California a lot. Is he doing a good job? That's a good question. Well, I agree with you though, Mike. I'm going to vote not, because I don't think leadership anywhere is a not. I think everybody loses.
Yeah.
So I got to vote not.
Yeah. The audience agreeing with you, 86% saying not.
Yeah, everybody loses.
Yeah, look at that. And it's just going higher and higher. So, Bob needs to check that poll and see what's happening there. That's pretty interesting. All right, how about this? We talked about this. I know how you feel about this.
Oh my gosh.
Going to a water park during COVID.
Stop going to the water park during COVID.
Yeah, you mentioned on Theme Park News from CoasterRadio.com, our daily newscast, that Walt Disney World is going to open up Blizzard Beach, right? And so, yeah, and after a year of being closed, I started thinking about that. Do I want to go to any water park while COVID is still going on? I don't think so, man.
No, you don't, because you don't want to wait in lines. Where are lines even worse than the dry park, the water park?
Yeah.
And not only this is the thing. I mean, and not to get all weird and creepy, but at the water park, the COVID droplets come out of your mouth and they go down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they do. They that's what we know they do. And when I wait in line at the water park, I'm on a staircase, an open metal grate staircase with dozens and dozens of people above me, breathing straight down.
Yeah, you're right.
On me, into their water, dripping on me. I don't want to be at the water park. Yeah, it's already taking a bath with 1,000 strangers. I don't want to do that during COVID time.
You've said that for years, man. You've said that for years. 75% of the audience agreeing with you. Yeah, it's just saying they are not. So I'm wondering if the water parks will see very low crowds, even lower than what their capacity is. It's going to be interesting, their COVID capacity, that is. So, yeah. Okay, how about this? This is something that I was curious all week for. Orion at Kings Island. Let's finally get the CoasterRadio.com audience's view on this. Is Orion really hot or not?
No.
You don't think so?
No, it's not. It's not, because it opened and people immediately, I do think that more people were making fun of it the debate was not, is it good or not? The debate was, is it bad or not?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right. If you think, right. So there were two camps. There were camps that people who were saying it was dumb,
right,
and people who were defending it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was not people that were celebrating it and then people who were poo-pooing it. It was people trying their best to defend it and saying, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's really okay. It's not. I want to ride it. I'm excited about it, but it's not Fury. It's not what people wanted necessarily it to be. We found out after the fact that this ride was actually intended for a different park altogether. So no.
I guess I think of it as, was it a good addition for Kings Island itself, not looking across the country and across the world and comparing it to other roller coasters. I find it interesting with Diamondback being right down the road. You know, that's a little weird, but I know they're different sensations and different styles of roller coaster. The audience here, 40% saying not, but 60% saying hot. So, maybe it's interesting. I'd be curious to poll the audience even further and saying how much of that 60% actually rode the roller coaster. That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, that's true for sure.
Yeah. All right, here's an interesting one too, talking about rides that premiered last year. How about Rise of the Resistance? There's been so much talk about this ride at Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and I love seeing every morning on Twitter people celebrating that they got a boarding pass and having to go through all of these steps to get a boarding pass to ride. And then you hear stories of them actually getting on the ride and then certain things not working, animatronics not working, or in one case, all the pre-shows weren't working, EB. People were just having to walk through to get to the ride and missing all the pre-shows. But other times it works perfectly, and it is the brilliant ride that it is. I wonder what the audience thinks.
Well, I hadn't been hearing about some of the problems that the ride's been having, not to that extent. That sounds terrible. Because I do know a couple of folks that have gotten down there to ride it in Florida, and it was exactly that experience. Like, they would go down for 3 days, and only one of those 3 days would they have success in actually getting to ride Rise of the Resistance. So it's still hot. It's still hot.
Yeah. So 79% saying hot. Yeah. And you can tell a ride is hot if people go that extra mile to ride it. If you're getting up super early and doing your phone and all that stuff, that's a hot attraction. Sure. This
is the ride that all rides are going to be compared to.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a while. For a while, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't wait to get on it, man. I'm glad that I watched the YouTube videos so that we could do this show, but I can't wait to see that in person. And hopefully all the effects, all the pre-shows are indeed working. Staying with Star Wars, how about this Star Wars hotel? Is this hot or not? This is what I want to really know from the audience. For real.
It's too expensive. It's nothing. It's not. And the more we see about it and the more that we learn about it, I feel like the worse it's getting.
Yeah.
That's my take. And I think the most thrilling part of the Star Wars hotel, you're going to be able to get from that space restaurant, right? The actual experience of blasting off into outer space and being in space.
Yeah. Sure.
Right. What's the restaurant going to be called?
Oh no. I'm gonna.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No. It's like restaurant. I was gonna say Mission Space, but no, isn't it like 200
Space
something?
2020?
Space. Yeah, maybe that is it. Maybe that is it.
That's got Space 2020.
Well, or something like that. It's how many miles off the Earth you are. Was
yes,
the number.
And that's going to be cool because that's what you want. Is you want to step into a thing, feel like you're flying up into outer space, and then you're there and you're hanging out and you're doing your thing and you're looking out the window at outer space, and then you go back to Earth. That's essentially what the Star Wars hotel is, but I just need to buy a meal. I don't have to spend $3,000 to stay in a themed hotel room.
Yeah. You know, what worries me a little bit is I see the construction photos taken by BioReconstruct from his helicopter, his magical helicopter that flies over the parks, and it doesn't look gigantic to me. That's what worries me. It kind of looks like a Days Inn. And I'm wondering, like, okay, if that's where all the rooms are, and here's the area where all the entertainment is going, it doesn't seem like it's that big. Like, it's probably big enough, but like, it doesn't seem like it's gigantic. So I'm wondering what's going on with that.
Yeah, well, I think that you're going to find that it is basically a Days Inn, right? When we saw the pictures of the rooms, it was a regular room. Right.
And
it was a regular hotel room. You walk in and to the right's the bathroom, and then you walk in and there's a queen bed, and then there's 2 bunks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and the name of the restaurant, Space 220. That was it. Yes,
Space 220.
Yes,
that is it.
Yeah, so.
Yes, and I don't think there's going to be as much inside the hotel as you want there to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're going to be walking down corridors with themed characters doing stuff and a whole bunch of different panels, and then you can, see a donk walking by, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think it's going to be a hotel.
75% saying not. So I wonder
the Star Wars hotel.
I wonder if that's a problem for Disney, because when it opens, you're going to get all the diehards in there.
It will not be a problem for Disney.
Yeah. But what's going to happen after all the diehards go through? I wonder if they're going to. I really, the curious thing for me is, are they going to have to lower those prices? It's really going to be interesting to check out. But maybe they won't. Maybe it's going to prove us wrong, and it's going to be fantastic. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. How about this? How about the Super Mario World? We're starting to see video leak out from the previews and stuff. And I saw that on our CoasterRadio.com Discord, which you can get by being a Patreon member, people talking about the Super Mario Kart ride. And you were actually pretty impressed by it, trying to figure out what you were looking at in that video.
Yes. It looks really cool. And I think this is hot. And I think it's hot because it's one of those things that are overseas that is leaking out into the mainstream media. Right. It's leaking out into people that don't go to parks.
Yes.
Are finding out about this and seeing clips of this and seeing photographs of this. And that's how you know something's really big.
Yeah. So 90% of people saying this is hot. And I think when you look at the videos and imagery that is leaking out, it just really looks amazingly creative, amazingly detailed. So I'm curious when this comes to Universal Hollywood, what the reaction is going to be from people. Should be fun.
Yes. Oh, and I'm seeing here when the listeners are in our Patreon exclusive Discord right now talking about my comment about Orion intended for a different park. The rumor is that it was supposed to be a hypercoaster going into California's Great America.
Yes.
That's the rumor.
Yeah.
And then they, last minute changed the height and relocated it over to Kings Island, which makes sense. Because I don't think it's that good a fit for the park.
Yes. And forgive me, everybody, something I goofed on. I'm writing here Super Mario World. It's supposed to be Super Nintendo World. I goofed on that. That was my goof. Entering in the info.
That's what everybody's calling it anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, no, it's just like, it's like saying Harry Potter World.
Yes, exactly. My goof.
It's not Harry Potter World, but that's what we call it.
But we've got higher standards here at Coaster Radio. I should have fixed that. That's my bad. My bad.
We're going to get your favorite coaster sucks, guys.
Oh, they're going to jump on that one. So mea culpa. That's my fault. I'll take the blame for that one. But hey, man, there are 50 of these topics we had to go through, and lots going on. Lots happening. So let's move on to the next one here. How about this? Character segments on Coaster Radio. Let's get this out in the open once and for all, because you were right, EB. There were people last year saying like, hey, where are all the character segments? I miss them. Whereas the year before, people were saying, I hate the character segments. I don't want them anymore. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what to do.
Well, I'm assuming the fans here are voting with their hearts and not with their heads, because character segments are not hot right now on Coaster Radio. We barely have done. I think we've done a handful so far this season. Right. And we're halfway through the year almost. So, but I think in their hearts, they want the characters, obviously, or at least the diehard live.coasterradio.com listeners are voting 88% now. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
The characters.
Yeah, so that's nice. So I think we will try to do that a little bit more. We tried to throw a bunch into the holiday special. Yeah.
The characters aren't doing anything because the parks aren't open. That's the trouble.
That's the thing. All the character segments always come around based on stories from the parks. If the parks aren't open, otherwise, we're just making stuff up. So I don't know. I think we'll get into that a little bit more, especially in the next couple of weeks. And as we get into, we're going to have still some off season. I think we're going to have an extended off season since the parks aren't going to open till later. So we'll see. All right. So now we're going to go into kind of a rapid fire thing here. This next section, we are going to talk about ride manufacturers, especially roller coaster manufacturers. So let's talk about Vekoma. Vekoma has kind of come on strong with some of their new models, right?
Yes, I think Vekoma is hot right now because Vekoma is coming out with new models of roller coasters. Vekoma, people, associate Vekoma with a rough ride, but now they're coming out with, what do they have? The new launch flyer? Are they the ones with the new single rail? Is that Vekoma?
That's Intamin, I think. That is
Intamin
yes.
has the new launch single rail that's going into Australia, but Vekoma has the new flyer that looks really great.
Yeah, and Vekoma, of course, supplying the roller coaster to Deno's Wonderwheel Park. We talked about that. So a lot of people liking the new Vekomas, and 72% saying they are hot. And I think if we had done this same poll 10 years ago, that would have flipped.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, so they've really kind of been, speaking of Phoenix, kind of risen from the ashes there. That's pretty good. All right, let's move on. How about B&M? We talked about them a little earlier. Speaking in 2021, is B&M still hot? Let's find out.
No.
Yeah, the audience right now, votes coming in. Look, it's kind of split 50-50. It's right around there. This is what I love about the technology of this, kind of like seeing votes come in real time. It is really cool. It's neat.
Yeah. So yeah, B&M is not hot, and and I don't know what this surf thing is going to be for them. But Candemonium, that's a perfect example. Just do what you do because you do it really, really well, B&M.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to try so hard.
Yeah. Look at this numbers here, EB. And years ago, it probably would have been 90% hot. Right now, it is 50-50. Between hot and not from the Coaster Radio audience. So really fascinating. All right, let's move on. How about RMC? Let's talk about them. They have had some extreme highs. They have had some extreme lows with some of their roller coasters. But I think overall, people love RMC and look to have an RMC in their park.
Yes, I think we're finally starting to, come down from my wooden roller coaster needs to be RMC'd. People are finally starting to calm down on that. So that's good. There are still plenty of old wooden roller coasters that really would be awesome converted into RMC hybrid coasters.
Yeah.
I think the single rail coasters are kind of like the second wave of RMC, and they are universally loved. Jersey Devil is going to be a big test for those, though, because that's going to be the first time we get to ride something different with these single rail models. So that's going to be big for RMCs. If Jersey Devil up there in New England is a hit, that's going to be great.
Yeah, and I want to keep track of this. 85% saying RMC is hot. So let's right now, is that the top? I think that was the highest so far. So let's see if anybody.
No, we had a 90, or for manufacturers. That's
manufacturers. Yeah, so our RMC right now leading at 85%. So let's move on here. How about Intamin? Intamin is another big player right up there with B&M in terms of being around a long time. Interesting to see what people think, because they also are innovating. They also have, the big thing of VelociCoaster is an Intamin coaster as well. People are really looking forward to that. Might be the number one roller coaster of 2021. So interesting to see what the audience thinks here.
Yeah, I think Intamin is super hot. The Aquatrax that's coming out is going to be, I think, really big. I think that's going to be a hit for them. They have all of their launched things that they're doing. The Hot Racer is their single rail roller coaster. Parks are still putting in these dumb vertical LSM coasters,
Yeah.
So people still like Intamin. Intamin is doing a good job. VelociCoaster is going to make them the hot manufacturer.
Yeah. So 73% of the audience saying hot. So, they're up there too. It's not 85 like RMC, but they're up there as well. All right. How about our friends at the Gravity Group? I like these guys. I like their roller coasters, and they have been innovating for a long time, going as far back as the Voyage and even today with some of their fantastic roller coasters.
Yeah. So what's new from Gravity Group, though?
It's hard to point to like a big thing that's new this year or anything, but I'm wondering how are their roller coasters aging, maybe, and I'm thinking about Mind Blower that I rode at Fun Spot. That was a fantastic ride. I love that. That was cool.
Yeah, and everybody likes the Timberliner trains, but that was years ago. The last roller coaster, was it the Kentucky Flyer?
I have to go back.
That their most recent roller coaster? So, but Gravity Group roller coasters are fantastic, right? This is, like you said, Mind Blower, Roarosaurus. People love Roarosaurus.
Yeah, sure. Oscar's Wacky Taxi. There's another one. That was a good one. Yeah, sure.
Voyage.
I'm surprised by this, though. Look, only 53% saying hot, 47% saying not. So,
what have you done for me lately?
I think that's it. I think really that's it. And that's what the audience is going by our instructions at the beginning to say in the industry right now. That's probably what they're saying. Not that it's not good stuff, but just
we like their coasters. But what are y'all doing?
Yeah, what have you done for me lately? Exactly like you said. So, all right, let's move on here. How about GCI? A lot of great roller coasters coming out, staying also with the wooden category here. One of the only true wooden roller coaster manufacturers left out there.
And now I have to rack my brain again and think, what have you done for me lately from GCI?
I think they have done more recently for sure.
Texas Stingray, I guess, and the most recent that I rode, Invader, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that was a great one too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm giving GCI. I'm giving GCI hot because Invader, Mystic Timbers, that Texas Stingray is supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And right now they're cresting at about 70%. So that's good. I mean, that's a good approval rating there from the Coaster Radio audience. All right, two more.
And they've been proving themselves for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we've got two more before we take a break here. How about S&S Sansei? I love S&S roller coasters, especially because they take that same technology, especially in the launch coasters, that they put into the Space Shot rides, flip it on its side for some of those launches. I'd like to see more roller coasters like that for sure.
Sure, let's give them a hot. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What are they building for us right now, though?
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess like King's Dominion's getting like a 4D roller coaster or whatever their version of that is. I'd like to see them do some more actual roller coasters. I'd like to see them go back to hypersonic and like take that theory, that design and do something more with that. Like, Dono no Pa that's still out there and stuff. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see a little more.
That would be great. Oh, I need to get, you know what? I need to get up and ride Max Force. That was the last S&S that I needed to go ride at Six Flags Great America.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. That launch, man. That launch I remember from Hypersonic was so great. I bet you it has a similar sensation on that. Yep. I think, again, here with S&S, it's what have you done for me lately? It's been a while since we've had like a big, gigantic project, 51% hot. So here, let's go one more. How about Mack Rides? Every Mack ride I've been on has been a good one. I've never gotten off of a Mack roller coaster and said that was bad. So yeah.
And Mack is hot right now, I think.
Yeah. Time Traveler was one of my favorite rides at Silver Dollar City. I thought that was fantastic. It was great. And we're seeing the audience agree with us, 76% and jumping higher as we go for Mack. So that's interesting, right, EB? Just to kind of go through and take a look at what the audience thinks of all of the roller coaster manufacturers here on Hot or Not this week. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this is very interesting to do the manufacturers. It's good.
Yeah.
70% hot.
Yeah. So let's take a little break right now. We're a little more than halfway through. A little bit later, we're going to talk about some specific parks. But the interesting thing, we're going to go through all the major park chains, too, and see if they're hot or not. So that should be fun.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, good.
Before we do that, though, one thing we want to talk about is next week's show. It is so important that you guys participate next week by joining us on Tuesday night at live.coasterradio.com. We are going to be celebrating our 600th episode of the show.
Yes, this is going to be a really fun episode, a special episode. So if you're listening to this episode, not only do we want you to listen to next week's episode, but maybe even sooner than you think, we want you to join the live audience. So yes, typically the show drops on Thursday nights, but Tuesday night is when we record the show. And if you've never joined us for a live look-in, this is the one to do it. Tuesday night, 9:30. Join us for the live look-in. And this is, if you're listening to this podcast right now, it is this Tuesday coming up around the corner.
February 9th. February 9th, 2021.
And we're going to be playing a game that everyone who is listening live is going to be able to play.
Yeah. What's really neat about this is if you remember the game HQ, that was big. It was, everybody had it on their apps for a while. You'd play it every night and you'd answer questions. And if you kept answering correctly, you would stay in the game. But if you answered one question incorrectly, you were out. We're going to be doing the exact same thing. You'll be able to play on your phone as you watch the podcast being recorded. What's fun about this, though, is every single question is about the coasterradio.com podcast. So if you consider...
And don't be intimidated. I know there's probably some listeners out there like, well, I don't know anything. They're going to ask stuff about from like 2006. Just like playing HQ trivia, you can guess.
Yeah, sure.
You can still advance round to round to round. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we do want you here live on Tuesday night, the 9th.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. And we're also going to have a lot of other special surprises and fun things to celebrate the 600th episode. I mean, I was thinking about that today, man. That's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of hours of Coaster Radio to listen to.
That is a lot of content of coasterradio.com. And we have a couple of listeners out there, a few listeners that have told us that they've listened to the entire back catalog, all 600 episodes. And we'll probably hear from some of them. We'll be looking back into the past of coasterradio.com. I'm sure we'll have some sort of like top 10 lists or best ofs and that sort of stuff that we'll be doing. It's going to be a really good time celebrating the 600th episode of coasterradio.com next week.
Actually, we are going to ask the audience, for those who have gone and listened to every single episode, people who have been with us since season season 1 or have gone back and listened. Some people actually listen to 6 episodes a day, somebody wrote, because they're a mailman. He actually said, I'm out in my truck. I'm delivering the mail. I listen to 6 episodes a day, listen to every single episode. I'm curious what you have learned over 15 years of Coaster Radio. And so people are sending those in. It's kind of fun. It's fun. Yeah.
It's very, very fun. Yeah, we have all sorts of great ways to interact with us. So we would love to hear from you, thinking about your favorite episodes of CoasterRadio.com or moments or reflections. Feedback at CoasterRadio.com is how you can get in touch. You can also call us 424-COASTER and leave a voicemail. And Mike, we also have our mailbox where people can send us stuff in the mail.
Yes. And and whenever you say that, it triggers a special song.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Yes. This isn't our first mail of the year, right? We did get something earlier in January.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, so there's a package that came to our P.O. Box.
Oh, good.
It's P.O. Box 3399, Bloomington, Indiana 47402. If you want to send us something in the mail, so here it is.
Great, love it. And again, I always say this: EB doesn't open the packages ahead of time and preview them. Everything that he does happens live on the show, so it could be something horrifying in that package.
This person committed mail theft.
Oh, no. What do you mean? What happened?
Well, they wrapped it in the brown paper, but they used a priority mailbox on the inside.
Oh.
You're not supposed to do that.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
All right, so it's a priority mailbox.
Yep.
And there is a book inside.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And that's it.
That's it. All right. Great.
Hold on. Where's this from then? I'm looking at the book.
This is like Christmas morning every time we go to the mailbag. It's fun.
There's no note in the book.
There's no note at all. It's just a book.
It's a book. The return address is KI, White Plains, New York.
Huh. Okay. What is the book? Because sometimes we get...
Oh, it's his book or her book.
Oh, okay.
Because the author is KI.
Oh, and I think actually we got an email from KI saying, hey, maybe I could come on the show and talk about my book. What is the book?
Oh, excellent. I didn't see that. Summer's Reach is the name of the book by K.I. Toller. And there is a picture of a park. Can the listeners see that? They're on the live look, and maybe they can help identify that.
No, I think I know what this is about.
Is that Cedar Point? I think that might be Cedar Point.
I think it is about a group of kids running Top Thrill Dragster over a summer. I think that is what the book is about.
The back of the book. Here's the back.
Yeah.
Roller coasters, rock and roll, and the ghosts of youth. Scenes unfold the new friendships of college kids as they live, work, and waste a single season at the world's greatest amusement park. Within historic and often lost locations of the early aughts, Kevin and his crew adventure through an Ohio resort surrounding strip malls and greater Rust Belt while the park attempts to open the tallest, fastest roller coaster ever. Infused with nostalgia, pop culture, music, and urban architecture while taking a dive into coaster enthusiasm, Summer's Reach captures the end of innocence. Ooh, it got dark there at the end.
Yeah, and I think KI said that he did research about Top Thrill Dragster and Cedar Point and a lot of the technical things that go on. So everything in the book is completely technically accurate.
Oh my gosh, I just flipped up into like a random page and there's like this whole passage. The Mantis was a stand-up roller coaster, as in the rider stood through the entirety of the cycle secured by a specialized harness. B&M had pioneered this design and sold a few over a brief period in the mid-1990s. It was a short-lived fad. The stand-up roller coasters did not retain re-rideability in guests' eyes. Purportedly, the ride's harness system was especially harsh on male guests.
See, there you go. So it's like
so it's part of it. It's all woven into the narrative.
It's a
the
novel.
Was buzzing. The employment force was out in full strength tonight. Front of house employees who were not staging the park were probably cramped up in the dormitories or stuck wandering the Sandusky Mall all afternoon.
Yeah.
Many employees were suited in bright blue company issued rain slickers. This is great.
Yeah. It's a novel for coaster enthusiasts, I believe. So
absolutely. I'm flipping through it right now, and every single page is like talking about a roller coaster, or they're on the midway doing something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's two characters are having a dialogue, and he paced in place. I was able to get every single ride credit there, including the kiddie coaster.
Yeah.
My coaster counts up to 186 now.
See, exactly.
They're like having conversations.
Yeah. It's as if one of our long-term listeners wrote a book, and there it is. So can you read the book, like actually read through it? And if you want, we can have KI on the show to talk a little bit about it. I think that might be interesting.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know if it's good, and maybe we'll have them on, especially in the off season here.
All right, so I'm assuming this book is probably out there. It looks self-published, but I'm sure it's available. It's got an ISBN. So if you want to get a book about a fictionalized book that is obviously very heavy for theme park enthusiasts, Summer's Reach, K.I. Taller, T-A-L-A-R. I'm sure it's on Amazon or wherever else.
Perfect. Nice little plug there.
That came in the mail. So yeah, P.O. Box 3399, Bloomington, Indiana, 47402. That's our P.O. Box. Thanks for sending that in. That's great.
I think somebody ought to write like a coaster romance novel. You know,
it might be in here. I'm sure there's
maybe there is. Maybe
we ducked into the alleyway.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
We were smooching in the dark ride.
Who knows? Who knows?
It says loss of innocence. You saw that part.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows what's going on there? So that's good. Yeah. Well, let's jump back into Hot or Not. And I think a good one to talk about next, EB, is a park that has gone through a lot of change and a lot of controversial change due to its fans. Let's talk about EPCOT. Why don't we? I think we ought to talk about EPCOT. It's of all the Disney parks, I think that's the one that's gone through so much change. A lot of IPs coming in where they had planned never to have IPs coming in. A lot of rides removed. A lot of rides changing around. Future World completely changing. So I'm curious what the audience is thinking. You know, is EPCOT hot these days or not?
I think EPCOT's hot. I think EPCOT is hot. I think EPCOT was being weird for a while and people were unhappy. But I think now that we've got this new EPCOT project that they've announced where they're going to be completely renovating the entire idea of what EPCOT is and what the lands are, that makes it hot because I'm excited for EPCOT.
I liked their idea prior to COVID before they slashed all the budgets.
Yeah, this is true.
They cut some things that seemed pretty cool. But already the park is starting to look a little better in areas. I know they're doing huge construction in some areas also. So the audience right now split again, 53% saying not hot. 48%,
the barge is not hot.
I think that's another thing. I think people see that barge, but maybe once they see it in action and we do EPCOT next year in 2022.
The large barge.
Yeah, the large barge might make EPCOT skyrocket in terms of its hotness. So
it was the worst Disney park I'd ever seen.
Large barge.
On a night just like tonight, the large barge.
That could be a new.
The large barge sent me.
Yeah, there you go. Be sure and tell them large barge sent you. Yeah, I like that. All right, that's good.
The fireworks sounded like a dump truck falling off the Empire State Building.
Oh, we should be saving this. We should be saving this.
That's great.
Don't give it all away now. We'll do a character segment.
Barge.
People asking for character segments. There's large barge. Yeah, all right.
Large barge.
Do a Pee-wee. I remember Pee-wee's face sitting in that cab. It's so funny, man.
It's so good.
Oh, so boy. Good. All right. Here's another park. I really enjoyed our conversation last week with Deno of Deno's Wonderwheel Park. I think a lot of people actually said when we had that conversation with him, it was one of the greatest guests because he was not acting like a PR person at a park normally does. He was just telling it like it is. And I think that made people like Deno and the park even more.
Hey, Deno tells it like it is. Come on down, ride my wheel.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Yeah, I think Deno's Wonderwheel is hot. Yeah. I think it's very hot right now. So. I think anybody who's ever thought about going to Coney Island, they're probably more likely thinking about going to Coney Island now.
Yeah. And look at that, Deno, 76% of the audience and climbing, 77 now saying hot. So I think a lot of people are going to be checking out Coney Island and Deno's Wonderwheel Park when this pandemic is over. I think he's going to see a lot of people coming through the gates. It's going to be fun.
And you can't go wrong being a park that's adding 2 coaster credits.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Jumped up to 79% there, Deno. That's pretty cool. All right. How about this? Speaking of Coney Island, how about this big wave Z ride from Zamperla that features you and me, EB?
It's been a long time coming, Mike. This is another one where, if you asked me last year, I'd say it was hot.
Yeah.
But at this point, man, I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah, we're waiting. And supposedly I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, just rumor that it's not going to be built again this year. So we might have to wait till 2022 to see it. But it's a really interesting ride vehicle, man. I've never seen anything like this ride ever in my life. I'm so curious what the reaction is going to be from riders. That's what I'm so curious.
Well, not only riders, but people on the ground.
Yes.
what is it going to really be like? This is that drop ride. It's basically a long wedge, right? Like think about a Huss top spin that just drops you straight down into a pool and it makes a gigantic splash. That's the entire ride experience. And there's some interactivity to it that may or not be seen. That's the part that me and Mike are supposedly a part of. They're going to be putting one of these over at Six Flags Qiddiya. Also,
yes, that's
maybe
right.
That's why they're delaying the one over there at Luna Park. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love it. I love the fact that it's a big, spectacular ride. And what I mean by that is like people from far away will see it and it's going to make a huge splash. But also there's an interactive element to it. I think that's really cool.
It's weird and it's different, right?
Yes,
that's what's nice about it.
Yeah, that's what I like. And I think it's going to be a big hit at Coney Island, especially there on the beach. It's hot. I think people are going to like it, getting wet and stuff.
Well, and people say it's still hot, Mike. We're 78% hot on the Zamperla Big Wave Z.
Yeah, awesome. So good for Zamperla. That's great. I'm hoping that we can have them on the show once it's clear and they can talk more about it. I'm really curious to learn more about that ride. So this is something that was a big hit, I think, in 2020. But how about in 2021? Do you think we're gonna see the drive-through Christmas events at parks in 2021? Is that going to be hot or not?
I think parks are going to decide if they think they can do better with drive-through versus if they can do better with people actually coming into the park, right?
Yeah.
If you can charge people $22 to drive their car through versus $30, and then you have to staff everybody and open stuff, it might be cheaper.
Yeah, sure.
And or more profitable, I should say, to just do the drive-through instead.
Yeah, I think so. And it was success this year. I think we might see it year after year, way past when COVID is gone, for sure.
Well, and I think that's what's going to happen are you going to see the parks that did the drive-through this year continue with the drive-through, or are we just going to see more parks opting for the drive-through?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. I think more parks are definitely going to be considering it. So this is hot.
Yeah. All right. 77% agree with you, saying it's hot. So let's move on here to sit-down restaurants in regional parks. We're not talking about Disney and Universal, but the regional parks that actually go to the trouble of building a restaurant where there is table service. How do you feel about that? I like it. Especially as... I'm sort of getting into family years here. I kind of like being able to chill out, have an alcoholic beverage perhaps at the restaurant, just take a load off in the middle of the day, in the middle of the heat.
Yeah, it is nice. And I have gone to the real sit down restaurants, the nice sit down restaurants, right? Where you actually have a waiter come over and take your order, the whole thing. It's a time suck.
Yeah.
Is the problem number one. And number two, it's a money suck.
Yeah.
The bigger problem that I have with the sit down restaurant is you're trapped. Talking about the time suck. I have sat down at the restaurant before because it's hot outside and I want to have a real meal. I've already ridden a lot of stuff that I want to ride. So I'm good. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to have a real meal.
Yeah.
And then it takes forever.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You order and it takes a half an hour to get your food. And then you eat and it takes a half an hour to get the check. It's like I just blew 90 minutes eating. This is horrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sit down restaurants. It's a gamble in the parks. And I probably talked way too long now.
No.
As we're trying to move through these. I'm just me musing about sit down restaurants. But this is controversial, and it looks like the audience agrees. It's about 2/3 say hot right now. So.
Yeah. 64% saying hot. So that's interesting. I remember you going to a sit down restaurant at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and I texted you, and you said, "Oh, we're just sitting down," and like 2 hours later, you're still there. And I don't know.
That's what I was thinking of. I think that was the time that it really was like that. Where we were there forever.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was wild, man.
It ate up so much of the day for totally unnecessarily.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned this a couple seconds ago. How about alcohol in the parks? You want to have a beer, you want to have a cocktail. I think this is hot with the industry right now. Yeah, sure.
I don't think the listeners are bothered by it too much. I think there is not really as big a problem as people think about people going into the parks and being like, there's beer here and now everybody's going to be drunk. No, nobody's getting drunk on $8 beers.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. Yep. So 79% of the audience and climbing saying that they agree with that. And
That's hot.
yeah, I some of the best times I've had, not that I need alcohol to have a good time, but like some of the Halloween events, it's kind of cool to have a cocktail or a cool drink that's in a syringe or something for Halloween. It's fun,
It's part of the fun. Like we were talking about the fancy cans of the craft brews and that sort of thing. You go to the park and you get a ridiculously large pretzel, and you can have a churro, and you can get a dumb beer that costs $9. It's fun.
Yep, that's right. All right, so we're going to bring it home now. Rapid fire. We are going to start talking about the theme park chains themselves. Let's give the audience instruction here, EB. Do you want to do hot or not based on what the audience thinks of? Like, we're going to do Cedar Fair here in a second. Do we want to say whether the audience thinks Cedar Fair is hot or not? Do you want to kind of change the rules for this last bit?
Yes. This is it hot, as in this is a chain that is up and coming. This is a park that is doing good, doing better.
All right.
We're looking forward to what they're doing. They're on the right track, no pun intended, with what they're doing. That's what we're doing here with this section of hot or not.
Yeah, so let's start off with Cedar Fair. Let's go with them first. Hot or not.
Okay, let's see what the audience says. Now, Cedar Fair, Mike, I don't know. Cedar Fair is they're great, and they always have been. Yeah. But I don't know if that makes them hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now.
Because they're just good.
Yeah. We're looking at like 79 to 82% hot right now. So people saying they're hot. Yeah. People liking what Cedar Fair is doing, liking how they are operating the parts. So that's really interesting. Doing good. Yeah. So, okay, let's move to the next one. How about Six Flags? And we do this every year. We kind of see where it is. Cedar Point in the high 80s. Where is Six Flags? Right now, they're in the high 80s of not. Let's see if the votes come on.
This is typical, right? I mean, these are the two chains. Cedar Fair is the good chain. Six Flags is the bad chain.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it's always been. And that's the way they keep operating as well. They don't seem to want to make a change here. Six Flags basically saying that they're not going to be opening all the roller coasters because of the crowd's going to be low. And it's like, well, fine, then that's dumb. I'm not going to your park.
But man, I had a great day at Magic Mountain. And that was
Six Flags, when the park is up and running.
Yeah.
They're great parks, but when they're not, they're not.
I'm with you, but the last three parks that I've been to, the Six Flags parks, I went to Magic Mountain, the other one over Georgia, and Fiesta, Texas. Those were three of the best days I've had at theme parks in a long time. But you're right. Everything was operating. Like maybe I hit them on perfect days.
You must have, because I'll agree. Magic Mountain was fantastic. I loved going to Magic Mountain. Yeah. That's their premier park.
Sure.
To be fair. Yeah. But I went to over Texas and Fiesta, Texas, and Six Flags St. Louis. Those were 3 bad days.
Yeah.
And Great America too.
Right. Just funny, man. But yeah, 63% saying not. So Six Flags has some work to do, at least in public opinion poll, I guess.
There you go. Good.
Yeah. All right. How about SeaWorld Entertainment? They've had a lot of trouble over the last 5 or 6 years. But EB, this is another one. SeaWorld Orlando, SeaWorld San Diego, the Busch Parks. Some of the most beautiful parks out there. Busch Gardens Williamsburg is easily up there with Disney and Universal in terms of beautiful
parks. We're putting Busch Parks in here, guys. So consider that. Now this is interesting, because we were just talking about Six Flags always being Six Flags and not changing. SeaWorld is a park that is desperately trying to change.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just a matter of how much we, the audience, we the fans, are going to accept it. Right? Are we going to continue to be down on SeaWorld? Or are we going to start saying, you know what? Fine, you built enough roller coasters. We'll forgive you for all of the animal stuff.
Yeah.
At what point does it balance out? I don't know.
Yeah. 63% saying hot. So I think they're looking at the same things that we're talking about.
They're turning it around because, again, if you asked this question 10 years ago, it'd be like, no, you're mean to fish.
Right. Sure. And the numbers might have flopped. So, yeah. But man, the SeaWorld parks that I visited, in terms of just their beauty, or something else. But that's the way it is with the SeaWorld parks and the Busch parks. They're just beautiful parks. So, all right, how about Merlin Entertainment Group? We're really talking about, some parks here in the U.S., but mostly parks in Europe and the U.K. and stuff. So I wanted to throw this one in here too. Yeah,
they're building Legoland, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Legoland, New York, hot.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting. The audience kind of split here. Right now, 52% saying not, 48%. I wonder why. Yeah, so I was thinking that might be a little higher, but I wonder if it's also just because they are not as well known, perhaps, as some of the others. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Interesting. So that's where that is. Right now, actually, at 59% not, which is surprising. So And climbing. Yeah, it's up in the 60s right now. So we'll move on.
Okay.
How about Parques Reanados?
Oh, they're Kennywood, right?
Yeah, Kennywood and some. Yeah, so I know that people are really pissed at them for taking out 4 of Kennywood's favorite rides.
Yeah,
And,
the Vine Curve, the Kangaroo. I don't know what they're doing up there. I was excited to get back up there to give Steel Curtain a try, but I've just about lost interest in going to Kennywood.
Yeah. A lot of people with you. 89% saying not hot and climbing. It's in the 90s now. 91.
Last time I was there, Thunderbolt was broken. Like, not that it was broken down and not operating. Like, I rode it and it was broken when I was on it.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? How it was like the front part of the train was coming off.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So they've got some work to do then, especially and this is all a public opinion.
Oh, and didn't that guy get the infection in his eye, like the brain eating thing?
Oh, I think from water or something. Didn't that happen a couple years ago?
Oh my gosh.
I think I remember something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So Kennywood, you're going down. I'm sorry. I used to love Kennywood.
Yeah, Kennywood's a great park with great rides. I mean, the old school rides, the new school rides, but I think people are really pissed off that they decided to
rail needles.
Yeah, they took out some of the favorite rides and, didn't give much. Not
Exterminator's nothing like it was when we went for our CoasterRadio.com meetup.
Oh, sure. And people are saying Exterminator is on its last legs, too. Like, if you want to ride that, better get to it as soon as you can.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was gone in a season or two
awful.
as well. How about Universal Parks and Resorts?
Super hot.
I think super hot, right? That with their
super hot
hotels that they're building there, the water park, Epic Universe.
There's disappointment about Epic Universe. I don't know if necessarily the GP knew a lot about Epic Universe, so they're not as disappointed, I think, as theme park fans are.
Right.
Disappointed.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Universal's still hot.
Yeah, 94% saying hot there. So yeah,
Good.
They are doing everything right and really kind of a hip theme park company at the moment. So. Yeah, 95% in climbing. So let's move on to Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, though. A lot of changes happening there. It's interesting. This will be interesting to see compared immediately to Universal, that it was at 95% hot. Where's Disney? Kind of look at that. It's kind of flipping around like 60% hot, but 40% not at the moment.
I got to go not just because Disneyland is just sucks. Because you can't go, right? And California is just crushing poor Disney. Well, as if I should feel sorry for Disney, right?
Yeah, but would you make? I guess you could say not hot at the moment because they're not open, Disneyland. I mean, not due to no fault of their own.
Let me ask you this: Avengers Campus is arguably the biggest thing that's coming to Disney since Star Wars.
Sure.
Do you have any interest whatsoever in that?
Not that makes me want to hop. Yeah, I don't want to hop on a plane to go see it.
Yeah,
I have
no interest whatsoever.
Yeah, whereas when Star Wars opened, I wanted to get to that. When Harry Potter opened, I wanted to get to that, and I was like, okay, I think I'll. But yeah, Avengers Campus does not make me want to buy a ticket and fly out there. Yeah. Audience feeling the same way. 52% only saying hot. 48%. Saying not there. So now let's move on to some of the big rides we talked about last week. This is just going to be rapid fire here to see. Let's talk about VelociCoaster.
This is the hottest. I don't know how this could not score 100%.
Yeah, I'm going to be surprised if it drops below 90.
I don't like dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm going to be shocked. The votes are coming in right now.
Cold-blooded, so they're cold.
Yeah.
Not hot.
Yeah. If this drops below 90, I'll eat my hat. I know that's
great. That's a surefire way to get the live audience to be like,
let's vote against it.
Yeah,
there you
your
go.
hat now.
Yeah.
Podcast boy.
Yeah, I'm safe. 95% saying VelociCoaster is hot. All right, let's move on to the next one. How about Iron Gwazi? Can it beat?
Iron Gwazi is not hot.
Is it going to beat 95% though? Let's see. I mean, just on its own, would it beat 95%? And already we're seeing it in the mid 70s for hot.
I'm sorry. I'm still voting for VelociCoaster at this time. I can't vote for Iron Gwazi.
Yeah, right now, Iron Gwazi not hitting the 90s, but it's a 79, 80%. 80%.
And that's
hot.
fine. And I think it's suffering from this was red hot a year ago.
Sure.
And it was just not the year for Iron Gwazi.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things that we've talked about, it's been a tough time keeping people's attention.
Sure. All right, so yeah, it's locked in there at 80%. I'm going to throw one more in there for you just for fun. How about this Falcon's Flight at Six Flags Qiddiya? This wildly impressive roller coaster with all the wild stats. Is this hot or not? I have no idea. Because it doesn't seem real to me, I think.
It still doesn't seem real to me. I don't know. The whole thing could just be a fake, totally fake made up thing that they're inventing and they're making fake. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, 58%, 61 now saying not hot. So this is fun seeing the numbers bounce around, man. I like this. All right, we add this in as we're kind of closing up here every year. Theme park podcasts. There are a ton of them now. We used to be the only one, along with In the Loop and a few others, and now there are like dozens and dozens of them. How do you guys feel about it out there? Are you enjoying all of these theme park podcasts? Like, there are more than ever.
I need to get back to theme park podcasts, you know, because I'll tell you this, my podcast habits, I went almost fully political podcasts over the past couple of years, right? 3-4 years.
Yeah.
4 years, Mike.
Yeah. Sure. 4 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've been doing a lot, and all of my regular podcasts have mostly dropped off. And I would say these last few weeks, I haven't listened to any podcasts.
Oh, well, there are some really good theme park podcasts.
I need to go out and find new podcasts to listen to.
Yeah. There are some really good ones out there, and ones cropping up all the time. And, ones that focus on a specific region, but some are like us that kind of focus on everything. But what I like about it is that no two podcasts are the same. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing, and it's really great. I'm just happy politics are boring again. Yes, me too.
And I want to go out and listen to a theme park podcast instead.
Yeah. And I think for those who said there was too much politics on Coaster Radio, I think you're going to find that there will be none.
I like that. You didn't say less. You were just like, there will be none.
Yeah. Hey,
we're finished.
Hey,
it's completely, it's done.
Those of you who, were complaining, go back over the last 3 or 4 episodes. You won't find any. You're not going to find. And this doesn't count. This is not political talk. All right. 3 more, Evie. 3 more to go. And everybody vote on this, because this is going to be interesting just with how people are feeling, how things are going. How about this? Are we going to be to a normal theme park experience by this summer of 2021? Vote hot if you think yes.
The idea of us being normal, is that hot right now? Is that popular? Is that something that people are way into? The idea of being normal.
Yeah, but do you think it will be by summer 2021? Because in a minute we're going to ask about fall and then spring of next year. So, this is I'm curious what the optimism is for this summer. And right now, 53% saying not and climbing. 56%, 58% now saying not. So I think people are thinking summer ain't going to be it. But how about we move it up? How about the fall? Are we any closer in the fall to?
Now you're talking fully normal. Like you're talking that there isn't even social distancing happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like everybody's
full
pretty
on,
much. Yeah, the rides open.
Summer 2019.
Yeah.
Style theme parks.
So see people feeling a little better now. I'm seeing 63% hot.
Fall 2021.
So people saying by the fall, maybe more of those vaccines are in people's arms. We're doing a little better, but still, I mean, we're not in the 80s and 90s yet. So, people saying there. So here, let's go one more. This is question number 50. Normal theme park experience by next year, spring of 2022.
Now, I think I'm going to go. I'm putting hot there, because I think even in the fall, I think all the way through the end of this calendar year, you will be required to demonstrate that you have the vaccine.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Go to the park.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think until Dr. Fauci comes on television and like shoots off the confetti cannon and says,
"Hey, it's great.
It's over.
It's over, everybody." Yeah.
That's it. We're done. Mm-hmm. And like the little twisty ones, just like, it's over.
Yeah. All right. But I think the audience is looking positive for next year. I think we're still going to have some weird stuff happening in 2021.
I think we're going to ease out. I think we're easing out. I think we're starting to ease out right now. I know people personally who have been vaccinated, and they're like, good. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get on an airplane. And I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that too one day.
Yeah. 89% saying that by spring 2022, we are going to be back to a normal theme park experience.
We're easing into it. It's going to take some time, but we're getting there. It's starting right now.
Yeah. I love doing Hot or Not. I think it's so much fun because we just did 50 topics, and you really get a sense from the average theme park fan that's out there of what's going on. And
they're above average because they listen to Coaster Radio.
Thank you. That's so true. That's so true. But that's real polling that was going on there, and totally.
Hot or Not is super fun. I mean, we are literally putting our thumbs on the scales here.
Yeah.
About where the industry is and what the industry is up to. The thumbs on the vote button, I guess I should say more accurately. So the listeners that stuck it out through the entire live look in here, this is great. Thank you so much for sticking around and participating and voting. This interactivity is so much fun, Mike, and I'm really looking forward to it continuing next week.
Yes. This is so much fun. Like the past couple weeks of doing this, we had the voting last week with Arthur Levine, the voting this week, and then next week for our 600th episode, everybody getting a chance to play that game, Last Fan Standing. We are so excited. We really want to see you on Tuesday, February 9th at 9:30 p.m. It's going to be fun. We're going to have some great prizes for the final winner, and it's just going to be cool. But it's going to be a fun episode all around, just celebrating 600 episodes of this very weird podcast.
Yes, it's going to be great. Looking forward to that. And thank you, everybody, so much for listening to the show, for supporting the show. We talked about different ways to get in touch. Feedback at coasterradio.com. 424-COASTER is the voicemail line. You can also record your voice and send it to us by email or on the website, coasterradio.com. And, of course, the P.O. Box is coasterradio.com. P.O. Box 3399, Bloomington, Indiana, 47402.
That's right. And we want to thank everybody who has been helping out the show in all the different ways. We appreciate people. We don't talk about this too often, EB, but it's really a big help when people review the show on iTunes. That's a really big help, like especially if you kind of write a few words about what the podcast is. And people read those reviews before they subscribe to a podcast. And, if you guys enjoy what you're hearing here and you write a couple words, that really does help us out. So that's a free way you can support the show. Also, we talk about this all the time, but if you're doing shopping on Amazon.com and you go to coasterradio.com first, there is a link at the top, like the product of the week. You click on that and you find something kind of neat that EB and I have curated for you. But if you just go on and do your shopping as normal, EB and I get a small percentage of whatever you spend, and that goes right back into the show, actually paying for things like we use tonight, like all the technology to poll the audience and to see the results in our live webcast in real time. So that's another thing. But also, patreon.com/Coaster Radio is a way that you can support the show, but also get some really cool perks, too.
That's right. There's perks, there's bonus content, there's behind the scenes access. Go to patreon.com/Coaster Radio to find out all about all of those things. One perk is you get your name read on the show.
Yes.
Alan Bergfield, Brian Cosson, Charlie and Jesse Brooks, Chris Rankin, our friends at Club Z, Colton from the theme park, Cynthia, Dan Dyler, Dan the T-shirt guy, David Sakala, David Iwanowicz, Grace, Gregory Delaney, John Brody, Josh Combs, Jumbo Shrimp, and Karen and Lee Howren.
How about Keith Nettles, Kevin Wilson, our friends at Made to Thrill, who got some really good reviews tonight on the Hot or Not. Also, Marshall the Big Easy Hider, Matt from Yorkshire, Michael Foucault, Mikey Mayo, Paolo De Los Reyes, Rick Burnley, Timmy Young, Tom from Louisville, and Zachary Carpenter.
That's right. We had some names on there, some new people. So they're getting a nice little note in the mail saying thank you at that pledge level. Also, a couple birthdays this month. So the birthday gifts are going out. There's always fun stuff that's happening. So patreon.com/Coaster Radio to find out about all the perks. Perhaps the greatest perk of them all, Mike. This week we're doing an executive producer hangout where our EPs guide the show content. And we want to say thanks to our honorary executive producers, Slater, Todd Houts, and Brian Wackler.
Yeah, I know that they are actually writing some of the questions for the game show next week. And Tom from Louisville wrote some great ones, too. It's going to be fun because it's going to start off very easy questions, but as they go on, there's going to be some obscure stuff at the end. But like you said, EB, it's multiple choice. You got 4 choices. You can guess, and maybe you will be the last fan standing.
I love this. I love this so much. This is going to be a lot of fun next week.
Yeah, so much fun for the 600th episode of the original theme park podcast, coasterradio.com.